This is an update. Georgia school shooter charged, the father charged with murder. Father, put him up. There has been an update to this school shooting in Georgia that killed 4, left 9 others injured. The shooter's father has now been arrested and charged with second-degree murder. The father is accused of buying his 14-year-old son Colt the AR-15 style rifle that he used. The troubling history surrounding the Gray family has now come to light. The father, Colin Gray, 54, was charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter and 8 counts of cruelty to children, officials said at a news conference on Thursday night. So here's why he's being charged, all right? So the charges against Mr. Gray are directly connected with the actions of his son and allowing him to possess a weapon. So that's Chris Hosey, who is the bureau director, said at the news conference. So earlier on Thursday, Charlie Hamas, the teenager's grandfather, said he believed his grandson was in fact responsible for what happened. But he also cast some of the blame on the teenager's home life with his father, who has split from the daughter of the grandfather. Quote, "My grandson did what he did because of the environment that he lived in," end quote. When investigators started to take a look online, they looked into a post. A threat spoke to Mr. Gray last year. He said he had been teaching his son, then 13, about hunting and guns to divert his attention from video games. The teenager denied making the threat to shoot up a middle school and claimed his account on the social media platform, Discord, had been hacked, according to a transcript May 2023 interview. Typically, you will see that these individuals are on somebody's radar usually before an action like this happens. Mr. Gray told the investigator that he had often discussed, quote, all the school shootings, things that happened. He also suggested that he had emphasized the dangers of using a firearm. Quote, he knows the seriousness of weapons and what they can do and how to use them and not use them, Mr. Gray told the investigator at that time, right, 2023. A representative from TMZ told investigators Colt Gray had been banned from Discord, from the social media site of that particular account. An account believed to be connected with Colt Gray was created in early April 2023 and banned just 6 weeks later for violating the platform's anti-extremism policy. The family has a long-standing history of crime. Put her up. Marcy Gray, the mother. The mother of the 14-year-old Georgia school shooter has a long history, including domestic violence, drug use, and fraud that led to her being sentenced to jail time last December. She was happy to be in her orange suit. She was arrested November 6, 2023 on allegations of possession of meth, fentanyl, muscle relaxants, but was never charged on the drugs. You see what happens here, right? There's no penalty. There's no course correction. There's no, I need to get my life together moment. Only the vehicle fraud, that's it. They found all those drugs. We're not going to worry about that, all right? We're just going to get you on it. It's already bad enough for you. The hell? December 21st, she was sentenced to 5 years in jail and banned for having any contact with Colt's father, Colin, who, as well as paying out $1,500 to an Atlanta construction company in restitution. So on December 21st, she was sentenced to 5 years in jail, banned from having any contact, was paying the $1,500. All right. April 12th, however, she was charged in connection with the November 4th aggravated battery against a 73-year-old woman. And then also theft and false imprisonment, criminal trespass, failure to appear, meaning she didn't go to court after the court said, hey, we're going to trust that you're going to come back. They don't charge you for the drugs, the felonies. All of those are felony charges. They let you get out of jail again. Judge says, hey, I trust you to come back. You failed to appear. Criminal trespass and failure to appear. when she threw the woman against the wall, she also taped the elderly woman's hands and feet to keep her from leaving, and broke a bathroom mirror in the woman's home, called kidnap, false imprisonment. Lauren Vickers, a neighbor, told the New York Post that the family had been trouble ever since moving into the neighborhood in 2022, and the kids were clearly not being taken care of. They're thugs. They're your criminal element. But I want you to do a home experiment, homework, if you would. When there's a Black family and you have parents irresponsible like this, they don't call them family. They won't call the person Mr. So-and-so. Just look at it. Look at the articles. But when it's a white family, the courtesies are all established. Mr. This, it's that. This doesn't take away from the 14-year-old at all. But there is cause and effect here, just as our dear brother was saying in the past story. There's cause and effect. There's atmosphere, environment. But Georgia, you see, there's a bigger policy issue here. It's constitutional, right? Constitutional care. You got the right to bear arms. You got the right to have a gun. Now, how are they going to prosecute this? Because Georgia literally has a law on the books that prohibits local jurisdictions from passing gun laws. Ted Terry, a progressive county commissioner in a place called DeKalb, right next to Fulton County, Atlanta, Georgia, he tried to create a provision in the county law that said, hey, listen, if a child gets access, if a minor gets access to a gun, you got to be able to at least charge the person who did that, who was negligent, with something, a civil penalty. State shut it down. So this story is going to tell the tale in case law, because based on the current interpretation of Georgia law and Georgia constitutional standards, it's going to be hard to make the case that this was criminal statutorily. Now, you can do it other ways. We'll see. Jackson, thoughts here?
Well, if there's a law in Georgia like that, then how can anything, and I'm asking this, how can anything actually change legislatively? Because one of the biggest issues is just kind of, it's not even just the gun culture, it's the acceptance that, and
Yep.
JD Vance said this, I think yesterday, this is just a part of life. It doesn't need to be a part of life. There's a lot of simple fixes that we could make, but as you pointed out, there seems to be a lot of legal obstacles in the way, such that why even try? Why even give it a shot?
Yeah.
But I personally, I'm really not a big fan of guns. I have no interest in owning one. Maybe a shotgun if I had one for my home. Several of my friends were killed with guns. I know a lot of people killed with guns. Most of them had guns on them when it
Yep.
happened. So I'm really not all that big of a fan of them. But at the same time, it's like, obviously this is America. A lot of people don't feel the way that I feel. We're not going to wake up one day where guns are outlawed. That's not happening. But how do we actually go about that if these types of legal obstacles are in the way?
Yeah, and that's why this prosecutor deserves a lot of respect for deciding to come up with what we call a novel theory of how this happened. Um, there's something called transferred intent, which means the father intended to transfer a criminal action and have the son carry it out. You're probably not going to have that. You're not even going to have a conspiracy charge here where they had a meeting of the minds. It's going to be a tough case. It depends on the jury. It's going to depend on the jury, so we're going to follow it.